A multidisciplinary approach to the issue of risky driving behaviours in P-plate drivers, presented by myself, Erin, Dimitri and Sonia. It is estimated that in their first year of unsupervised driving, P-platers are 30% more likely to be in a car accident. This statistic is thought to be a direct result of young drivers engaging in risky driving behaviours such as speeding, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, carrying multiple peer passengers, and using a mobile phone while driving. To address this issue, this presentation will assess risk-taking behaviours in P-plate drivers from the perspective of educational and developmental psychology, forensic psychology, and clinical neuropsychology. Educational and developmental psychology centers on learning and development throughout the lifespan. Psychologists work with clients across differing stages of development and work in varying research and practice settings such as schools, hospitals, or community organizations. Within these settings, they treat individuals, groups, or organizations and may be required to work alongside numerous stakeholders like parents, teachers, or employers, or within interdisciplinary teams alongside other specialists. Like most psychologists, educational and developmental psychologists use evidence-based practice to assess behavioral, developmental, and mental disorders. However, they have a core focus on prevention by identifying and working with vulnerable people to prevent the onset of disorders that are later difficult to manage. Although inexperience is considered the primary reason for young driver accidents, recent literature and media accounts emphasize the significant role of risk-taking behaviors. Young drivers are more likely to speed, drive too close to the vehicle in front, use a mobile phone while driving, and drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, along with driving in risky situations such as night or with multiple passengers. Recent studies have shown that even though young drivers understand the risks of these behaviors, they still partake in them. The etiology of risky driving in P-platers can be explained through the biopsychosocial model. From an educational and developmental perspective, social theories best explain risky driving behaviours. The theory of planned behaviour has been successfully used to predict and explain risk-taking behaviours in young people. It consists of 6 constructs that collectively represent a person's actual control over their behaviour. One construct, subjective norms, is the perceived social pressures to adopt or reject a behaviour and is strongly related to an internal belief of whether important people or popular culture think you should perform the behaviour. An additional theory is Burgess and Akers' differential association reinforcement, which is an extension on Bandura's social learning theory principles. Initial behaviours are primarily learned through imitation and later reinforced through either rewards or punishments. Differential association reinforcement has proven construct validity and can account for risk-taking behaviours such as smoking, drinking, and substance use. Both theories highlight the influence that parents and peers can have on risk-taking behaviours. The presence of peers can increase the occurrence of speeding, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, tailgating, and dangerous overtaking. Additionally, parental modelling has been found to be more predictive of youth risk-taking driving behaviour than parental teaching. Young drivers who perceived their parents as safer drivers were reported to be safer drivers themselves. Interventions applied through educational and developmental psychology are centred on prevention. When addressing the issue of risky driving behaviours in P-platers, there are 3 possible areas that interventions can be applied: through education, peers, or parents. Most education programs in Australia are voluntary and taught during the supervised learner and provisional licence stage. However, recent shifts have seen some states adopting mandatory pre-learner driver education programs. For instance, the ACT provides a mandatory road-ready pre-learner program targeted at school teens and new drivers. Driver education programs have shown positive outcomes. For example, young drivers attain their L plates earlier, resulting in longer supervised driving periods, potentially leading to the development of safer driving skills. However, some independent reviews have provided little support for educational programs reducing car accidents. Future educational programs should address current limitations. Many driver education courses cover the psychomotor, perceptual, and cognitive skills required of safe driving, yet don't emphasize how to apply these skills in risky driving situations. Moreover, educational programs may benefit from addressing psychosocial factors such as intelligence and peer or parental influences. With young drivers being more aware of the internal and external factors influencing their decision-making, they may be able to recognize and prevent risky behaviors from developing. However, these methods are yet to be investigated. Studies have revealed that the occurrence of risky behaviours increase when in a group, yet young driver intervention approaches for peer influences are limited. A trial intervention called the Speak Out campaign, developed in Norway, involves using education and mass media to encourage teen passengers to call out a driver if they feel that they are driving in a risky manner. The program had a positive response from teens and revealed evidence of a decrease in passenger injuries and death. Another proposed peer intervention is based on the principles of crew resource management. Originally developed in the aviation area as a means of enhancing communication and teamwork in emergency situations, it has been put forward as a young driver intervention aimed at developing communication skills through discussion groups, video demonstrations, role-playing, and other activities with the goal of improving in-vehicle communication as a way of influencing the positive and negative effects of passengers. A set of recommendations have been proposed for an ACT-based trial. The positive results from the Speak Out campaign and the potential of crew resource management-based interventions indicate that further peer intervention methods should be explored. Safer driving behaviours may be increased if interventions are able to equip teens with the skills to confront their peers in difficult and risky situations. Research has established that children can start to learn driving behaviours from their parents at an early age. However, despite their role, parents generally display poor driving behaviours and fail to define driving rules and expectations. As such, intervention approaches aim to improve parental modelling and equip parents with the knowledge and skills to successfully teach their teens safe driving behaviours. A recent parent-based intervention, Steering Teens Safe, is supported by health behaviour and family communication theory and has shown promise for real-world application. It is designed to equip parents with communication skills to talk about, demonstrate and practice safe driving behaviours and skills. And over a trial period of 3 months, it revealed an increase in parental engagement with interaction and supervision of safer driving skills with their teens. Alternative parent interventions have explored the impact of parent limit setting on young driver independence. Recent reviews have found that parents who set limits on driving privileges resulted in lower occurrences of risky driving, traffic violations, and crashes. From an educational and developmental perspective, risky driving behaviours and P-platers are targeted through interventions based on preventing or changing the behaviour at an earlier licence stage or through peer and parent influences. The current intervention methods discussed through this presentation show promising success for real-world implementation, and future research should further explore these methods. I will now hand over this presentation to Dimitri, who will assess this issue from a forensic psychology perspective.